Welcome, everyone. Whether this is your first time or you have joined us before, we are really excited to come together for another Partners Unplugged, just informal conversations across the Partners team and the work. I think as an international community, we are spread all over the world, and it's just really sweet to find these spaces to gather and just be. So know that we just really value your presence here as we go throughout this conversation with Lilas, who is our Iraq and Northeast Syria Director. Please feel free to add questions and comments. We want this to be an open conversation and an opportunity for you to really ask the questions that you want, so you really get a behind the scenes look into our work. My name is Kara Brink. I'm Communications Manager at Partners, and I'm going to pass off to my colleague, Chris.
Thanks, Kara. Yeah, my name is Chris Scott. I'm a strategic engagement developer and get to hang out with our staff. I was in the Middle East last year with the team and saw some of the work. So we're grateful for this conversation. Just one quick caveat. Lilas works in Northeast Syria and Iraq primarily, and we also have a footprint in other places. So we're primarily talking about our work there, but if you have any questions about our work in Gaza or Yemen or Afghanistan, feel free to let us know. Yeah, glad to be here with you all.
Okay, so this is Lilas I am the new Iraq Northeast Director. As Northeast Syria, I've been with Partners for I think over 2 years, I know for over 2 years. I started in different roles. I worked in, basically let me introduce myself, what about my career, a bit of something about me. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, good.
Okay, so I basically started working in Syria. I worked first as some translations, Arabic English. So I love translation. And I worked in a humanitarian NGO in Syria for a while. Moved to Lebanon also to work in peace building with another NGO. And then at some point, I got married to an Iraqi guy. He was a great guy. So I moved to Erbil, where I struggled a bit to find my place here in the beginning. Then I started working in monitoring and evaluation, and I literally started from scratch when I came to Erbil. I learned this. I learned monitoring and evaluation, learning and accountability from zero. And started moving, I would say, fast. And my roles, I was very lucky. I had the best managers. At some point of the journey, I started to be in a managerial level with twins, 4 months old twin boys. I had the support of my managers, support of my community, my parents, my husband, my family. Everyone was so supportive. So I'm not sure if I was so lucky or if people are just great. I'm still having support of partners. So they did believe in me, and when the position for Iraq Northeast Director was open, Partners decided to give me the chance to help more by being in this role and try to do a bigger impact, maybe. So yeah, this is, I think, what I should say about myself. Feel free to ask any questions if I missed anything. Yeah.
Welcome, Lilas. It's really a joy to have you here, and I think just what you've brought to our team in the monitoring and evaluation space. I know at Partners, we deeply care about the communities. We want them to be so involved in every process and every part of our projects. And you have been such a gift to our organization of really just building on that and drawing communities and parents and kids into those processes in new and deeper ways. So it's a deep gift to have you. Something I was curious about is what first drew you to this work? What was kind of a spark behind it?
Okay, so I would say I didn't know in an early age that I wanted to be a humanitarian. Obviously, I think I was too young. I've always had this satisfaction in giving, still have it, all kinds of giving. But basically, I think going back, because I've never thought of this, but my almost my first job was with a shipping company that was responsible, had a contract with a humanitarian or UN entity where they actually were responsible of shipping the tons of NFIs and food help between the port and the warehouses to different locations of Syria in the beginning of the war or the conflict or like the crisis of Syria. My role, and among others, was to coordinate the whole movement of all these ships, and I'm talking tons here, between the port, the drivers, and the warehouses, making sure that we have no surplus. We don't have any, like we don't move quantities in the wrong way that we will have more need in other places. And to be careful, we had, like, I still remember that we had a color code of how dangerous the area is. So red is very dangerous, don't go there. Orange is might be bad at any time. And we did lose contact so many times, which was a very stressful job for at 22 years old. You needed to be on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. To be honest, I couldn't take it. It was too hectic, too intense. At some point, I just decided to give up, and I was like, this is too much. I cannot do it. But at some point, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, but maybe in less, especially at that age, I couldn't take this amount of pressure, especially emotional pressure. You would literally lose access to drivers for hours and you don't know what happened, because it happened that kidnapping accidents happened many times. Many times people lost drivers, and many times they lost only the cars, drivers came back. So you would be so stressed for hours. And also you would, if let's say this location moved from red to orange, and this happens in seconds, you need to start moving to see the closest warehouse where there is a need. It was too intense for me, but I think at this phase where I started to know that this is what I want to do in a different way maybe, but this is what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing. And just for those jumping on, welcome to our Unplugged. And we are coming from the Middle East, talking to our Northeast Syria and Iraq Director. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chats about our work, how we do things, what's going on the ground. This is a live conversation, and we're here just kind of talking like we would over coffee or tea. So our work is pretty unique. I love hearing how some of your background directly applies to like getting stuff to places now and thinking through risk and all that. In doing humanitarian international work, what sorts of things have you learned? What have been some lessons like about yourself, about the world? Is there anything that comes to mind as far as like ways it's formed you and lessons you've learned?
I think like at least half of what I am is basically I learned from doing what I do now. It basically, let's say, I'm not a patient person in general, but I've learned a lot. Like I'm much better now and being more patient. One of also my problems is that I want everything to happen the best way. I learned in this job, and I mean this very well, that I mean this so much, that not everything will happen the way you want. Things are not perfect. Life is not amazing. It also was very important to me to learn how to act fast and good, as fast and as good as possible in hectic situations. So decision making, evidence-based decision making, and on time. I don't know if you learned this or you just discovered in yourself that you feel so satisfied by giving. So I think it's part of both. You have it somehow, and then what was the right word? It grows more by doing this job. I learned so much in this job. It's basically how to feel for others you don't know. even if they are not part of your community, because usually a human being feels more for their people who are like them, people who talk their language, people who have their struggles, people who live in their communities. With time, when you do this job, you learn that you just feel for everyone, because we are humans, or even not humans, any creature that was created by God, you should feel for them. So a lot, and I have a lot to say, but I don't think we have enough time to talk about everything I learned in this job. I love what I do, and I'm very proud of all the teams I worked with.
That's so beautifully said, Lilas. I love what you said about how giving blesses you. And I feel like we see that across our communities. Any of us who have been blessed enough to be a giver know that what is returned is 100 times back. Just the learning and the togetherness that comes from it. Does anyone in your family inspire you in your work?
Well, I don't have humanitarians workers in my family, but I do have different, like my aunt, who was very, like, she contributed in what I am now, is a lawyer. She taught me how to be strong. She taught me how to be to care for people, how to be fair. She did affect me in a great way. My parents, my father was always been a revolutionary guy, who did everything he thought was right, even if the community didn't agree. Who always felt for. My father was able to be friend with anyone with any level of education, any level of different people, different communities, different religious. He taught me a lot. My mother was a very strong woman. Who taught me how to be who I am, how to actually, very specifically, how to act, and then later on see how I feel about the action. Because when you are within the crisis, you need to act. You cannot reflect directly, because if you need to choose either to collapse or to act. So this goes back to my mother, my siblings, everyone in my family did something to make me love what I do and to make me who I am now. So I'm very grateful, and I think I'm very lucky.
That's awesome. And I think we have a picture of your family now who are with you and kind of supporting your work. And we're talking about your twin boys, and
Yes.
it's awesome to see. So make sure to express our gratitude to them for their support of all you're doing in the world. Is there like a favorite area of your work, or an area that is close to your heart? There's many projects. Partners has around 30 projects in like 8 countries. And around Iraq and Syria, there's a bunch of different things we're doing, from school rebuilds to clinics. Is there anything in particular that you're extra proud of?
Well, I'm proud of each and everything we do. Each and every person that works within this organization, and each and every effort, because I think we're like a puzzle that you cannot be, like, each and every piece of this puzzle means a lot, and they have their own role that is an asset to what we're doing. But seeing a smile on a child's face because they got access to education, or have at least, you know what, not only education, they have this safe environment where they feel that they belong, because we don't really differentiate between people. For each and every girl who decided to come and be with us, and each and every small boy who was very happy that he can read and write now, or he's better with English, or like he can I don't know, he's better in Arabic. For each and every woman who comes to our centers and feel like she's safe enough to be in such places, especially for women, for example. We do awareness and trainings about sometimes sensitive topics. So if they don't trust us, they will not come. If a child doesn't trust us, they will not come. Last week, we went to the graduation of Phoenix Learning Center in Dumis Camp, at the graduation of the kids for summer program. You should see those faces. they were very happy. It doesn't matter how much I talk about it. Even I didn't know that I would feel this way. I was very proud, very overwhelmed, very proud of the team, the teachers, the admin people, very proud of our education manager. Everyone had something to do. And it doesn't matter how much I talk about it, because if you don't see it, I don't think I can actually transfer or convey the feeling. It's a feeling. You just feel overwhelmed. You don't know if you want to be happy or just cry. Um, I was very happy there. I was very proud. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great moment.
We have a clip of some of the kind of action at the Phoenix Learning Center, but could you, for those who aren't familiar with it and like who the population we're serving and in community with, can you give a quick overview of what the Phoenix Learning Center is?
Yes. So basically in the Phoenix Learning Center, basically it's in Dumiz camp in Duhok. Dumiz camp is a Syrian refugees camps in Dumiz, in Duhok, Iraq, Kurdistan, Iraq. What we do is basically we have two kinds of programs. We have education for kids. We teach English, Kurdish, and Arabic. We have two kinds of programs: remedial classes during the year or summer program during summer. Another thing that we do in the Phoenix Learning Center is Empower Me, which is women health trainings and life skills, where we teach or we help women understand better about life skills, about their own female health, and so on. So this is what we actually do there. It's been happening for a while, and I'm very grateful that we can actually, or we are able now to keep doing this, hoping for the future that we will be able to do more, or at least keep doing what we are doing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, so here's a clip from that space. Again, like many of the places Partners works, these are folks who have been displaced because of conflict. Many are children. A lot of our focus is on kids who are, to no fault of their own, caught up in the crosshairs of war and violence. And we hope to give them a chance, give them hope, education, whatever we can. So what a wonderful scene you're going to enjoy here. And this is a part of what Lilas is overseeing in the Middle East.
I can't
Look
stop
at her
smiling. Yeah. Well, I was thinking about what you said, Lilas, about that overwhelming feeling of just joy and the emotion of seeing kids who have faced so much. You know, Doma's camp has really a lack of services, a lack of quality education. And I've had the joy of going there. And every time I've been there, I'm struck by the feeling of love that is there, just across the staff, across the teachers, across the caretaker. And yeah, there is something so special and priceless about seeing those smiles.
Right.
It's why we do what we do.
Yeah. Very true.
This is kind of a pivot from maybe like some of that joy to looking at kind of this lived reality of, we work in places where kids are often in unstable environments because of conflict. right now, like in this moment, what are some of the greatest risks that you see kids facing in the areas where we work in Iraq and Northeast Syria?
I would say lack of opportunities, lack of access. Our kids, general communities in general, but kids specifically, they have a problem that they don't have access to the basic rights, like right of protection, right of education, right of health or good health services, or even decent income to give them food security. So basically, kids take or are burdened with way bigger burdens than they should be. The main risk, to answer your question, is lack of opportunities. Every person, every child, everyone should have access to different choices. We don't have so many choices in these in the communities we work in. You are where you are. You cannot really do much where you are. It's great that some organizations, including partners, can provide some services like education, for example. But we can do just, we are limited, just like everyone else, and the need is huge. So lack of opportunities and lack of access, even to basic services and basic needs. We try to do something, and we are doing something, but what is needed is way more. So yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard looking at the world and seeing how much need there is. And I'm really grateful to be part of a community and be part of this group that is trying to do good in the midst of it all. You're close to it. You are, you see it all the time, and it's happening around you in neighboring countries. As you see the suffering of the world, not just within partners and our work, but just humanity at large, what gives you strength to keep going, courage to continue the work? How do you kind of sustain yourself through that?
So I think because I lived in conflicted area almost all my life, with time some kind of, you build stamina. This is like one of the things that give me strength. A family. I have the support of my husband. He supports me to be able to do what I'm doing, because having twin kids without the support of your partner, this means that you cannot even move your room, move out of your room, not let alone move, like do what we're doing. So I have a great husband who's very supportive and who believes in me as an independent woman who he trusts. I have the support of other family members, everyone, almost everyone, the colleagues. But what I really want to say here is that I don't want to show that we are strong. We are basically strong, strong in the moment, just enough to act. Once we just postpone the moment of weakness to after taking action, because basically a priority is to do what is needed in time, and during the crisis you don't have the luxury to collapse or feel bad or cry or like get sick or whatever. But after we do what we should be doing, we all have our moment, like our weakness moments, where we actually do collapse. I don't want people to think that we are strong. This is why we are able to do what we are. We are just normal human beings that we collapse, that feels weak, and that feel sometimes helpless, being unable to do enough, disappointed sometimes, drained in many ways. But it's just, the key here is when, the time is key. But we're not like, we are strong enough to act only, but then, and this is very okay, this is why I'm saying this, it's okay to be weak. We are humans, and we should, I mean, when you see people in need, you very normal to feel weak and to feel helpless, even if you are doing what you can do. So there are, again, I'm very lucky. I have all the things that can help me be strong enough. But no, humanitarian workers are not strong. Well, strong, but they don't have the strength all the time. And these communities are suffering. So it's okay not to be strong.
Well said. Thank you for sharing that. I think that that human piece is so important, and that, you know, we're not called to be perfect. We're not called to be, you know, never needing anything. And I think as you're talking, it just reminds me of how important community is and how we can be there to lift each other up. And I see that across our community of, you know, sometimes one of us is running in a crisis and the community comes around and like lifts them up. And the importance of rest, the importance to care for ourselves in this work, and to acknowledge that it's just as important to know when to step back and let those around us lift us up, as it is to, you know, push really hard in those moments to see kids protected when horrible crises are unfolding. And thank you for all that you do and all the role that you play to make it possible for kids to be met with hope, because it is an outpouring of your love. It's an outpouring of your strength.
Thank
we
you
couldn't
for
do
saying.
what we do without you.
Thank you, because it is very important to step back at some point, because if you are drained, you are not helping. You need to be good or to feel okay to help, and it's okay to admit that you're not okay, and it's okay to choose the way to heal and step back and let the team help, let the other people do, and I'm sure they can do perfectly. So thank you for saying this.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom. We are getting close to wrapping up, so if anyone watching has any questions they want to ask Lilas or any comments, please feel free to pop them in. But I have another question for you as we kind of slowly end our time together. Where do you see hope showing up right now in this moment?
I would say, well, it's not easy to see hope in the current situations, but I would say I would bet on the awareness of the communities. And I know, you know what, the hate speech is always higher, is always louder. Bad actions, bad movements, bad things show, like they are on the surface usually. So people would think that it's helpless. What are we doing? People don't understand what's happening. Most of these people are bad. But if you dig a bit deeper, I do believe that we have a good awareness. People understand that we are all on the same boat. Either we survive together or we just sink all together. Once you believe in that, and once you think that it doesn't matter how loud the hate speech is, it's not the only voice, and it's just loud, not like, it's just like fuzz. It's not real. It's not the dominant voice, let's say. We just need to dig deeper, and I do believe that we have good people, we have who are aware of the situation and will actually help this community to survive altogether. So I do have hope, and I do believe that we have good communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes me think how love is such a powerful force. You know, we see how hate and violence are also powerful forces, but I think that reminder that we have something to bring the world that also moves mountains and moves quickly and can make a way for a different story.
Yes.
Thank you so much again, Lilas, for joining us for this time together. It was just really a gift to sit down with you. Thank you for everyone who joins. If you have any questions that arose during this conversation, or if you want to continue the conversation, please feel free to reach out. We have our email address, info@partners.ngo, and we would love to connect.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me and for everything you are doing. I do appreciate all your efforts, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends.
We'll talk
Take
soon.
care.
Bye, friends.